Hello, my dear students. Myself, Krutika Patel from Samarpan Gyan School, Rata. Today, we are going to continue with our topic from class 8th, Social Science, Civics, chapter number 3. Why do we need Parliament? We have already started with this chapter. We have completed few topics of this chapter, and today we are going to continue with our chapter. Before we go to our topic, let's revise the things we have already covered. We have seen that Parliament enables citizens of India to participate in the decision making and control the government. From where these things have come up, that we have seen in this chapter. Why should people decide? Independence was a very long process, and in that process it was a difficult struggle too. They got inspired by the idea of freedom, equality, and participation in decision making. Under the colonial rule, people did not criticize the British government, but freedom movement changed this situation. The nationalists began to oppose the British government and make many demands, and so through this they became very much aware they became very much aware of the fact that in independent India they will be able to participate in decision making. And so the constitution in the independence India, when it was made after independence, it was laid down in the constitution that the principle of universal adult franchise, that is, all the adult citizens of the country have right to vote. So here you can see universal adult franchise. Everybody above the age of 18 has right to vote. The next topic which we have already seen, that was people and their representatives. Now, what is that? So here the first point is the idea behind democracy was consent. What is consent? What is consent over here? I'm so sorry. This consent means taking concern of the people, considering the participation desire of the people. The basic idea in democracy that individual or the citizen is the most important person, that the principle of the government as well as the other public institution need to have trust of all the citizens. The government which is formed should have, the people should have trust in them. Now the other thing was that is the role of Parliament. Now what is the role of Parliament? This is the Parliament. The Indian Parliament is an expression of faith that people of India have in the principles of democracy. This Parliament shows that we have faith in our democracy. So this Parliament is from here. This Parliament, people are going to take decision for us. Our representatives will take decision for us. Here we can see we will elect our representative. This group of representative will form government, and this representatives will form Parliament, who will control and guide the government. So the Parliament consists of Rajya Sabha, President, and Lok Sabha. Lok Sabha is elected once every 5 years. The country is divided into a number of these constituencies. Country is divided into constituencies, and here the elections happen every 5 years. Once elected, the candidate becomes the member of Parliament, MP. The member is known as MP. So here we start up with our today's topic, that is the role of Parliament. There are three major roles. First is to select the national government, second is to control and guide and inform the government, and third, law making. So let's have a brief discussion on this. So to select the national government, how is the national government selected? Here, as I told you, that parliament is made up of three things. They consist of three things: President, Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha. Now, what is Lok Sabha? After Lok Sabha elections, we people, we elect. Once the Lok Sabha elections get over, a list is prepared. Lok Sabha, when we go and vote and the elections are over, and then after a list is prepared which shows how many MPs each political party has. How many MPs each political party has. And if the political party wishes to form union government, it needs to have majority of MPs in the house. Now, if that party wants to become the central government, if like now it is BJP who is ruling over the central government. Now, if this is there, how it has become? Because they had majority of MP in the house. So there are 553 elected members in the Lok Sabha. How many? 553 elected members. You can see it over here. And then out of this, 2 members are Anglo-Indian community. And to form a government, political party needs half of the seats. Total is this much. This much. And if to become government, they need half of this. That is 272 members or more. If they cross this, they become the government. If there is less number, then the other party will become the government. Now, the other party who has less than this number becomes the opposition party. Becomes the party which has the second largest number of seat in the house. Second largest after this, that is opposition party against the ruling party. The selecting an executive is one of the most important function of the Lok Sabha. Now, who is going to become that executive of that party is the executive. The term executive always comes to mind when we use the word government. Now, the leader of the ruling party is known as the Prime Minister. The leader of the ruling party is Prime Minister. The Prime Minister of India is the leader of the ruling party. Now, there is one more point, that is coalition government. Now, if any party is having less than this number and other party who is having, like suppose if any party is getting 200 seats and other party is having 100 seats, they might collide together, they might join together and form this number, and they might have form a government that is known as coalition government. Rajya Sabha functions primarily at the another body we are going to talk about. First was Lok Sabha, which we talked about. The another body, Rajya Sabha, functions as the representation of the Indian states. It is functioning as a representation of the Indian states, and a bill has to be passed in the parliament for it to become a law. Whenever a law is made, a bill has to be passed, and the members of Rajya Sabha are elected members of the Legislative Assembly. How many seats are there? 233 seats, plus there are extra 12 members who are nominated by the President. The first topic of it is over, that is the national to select the national government was the first topic. Our next topic is to control, guide and inform the government. Now, when it is in the session, parliament begins with the question hour. When it is in the session, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, opposition party, ruling party, everybody is there in the parliament. There is question hour. It is considered an important mechanism through which, it is a very important mechanism through which MPs are able to elicit about the working of the union government. How the MPs will come to know what the union government is planning? By asking questions, the government is alerted to it in the shortcomings. So whatever the important way through which the central government is controlled by the parliament, central government cannot exceed its power. And so here, when they sit in the parliament, they ask number of questions, and then after asking questions regarding any bill is crucial task every MP is entitled to perform. So here they highlight different backgrounds, that they see different areas, there are different problems, children. There are different areas, different problems. MPs come from different areas. So when they sit in the parliament, there is different question that in my area this kind of problem is there. They discuss upon it, and then they come to any solution. And then when this solution is decided, a bill is passed for it in the Rajya Sabha. And when this Rajya Sabha allows, then only this bill is confirmed. So as a representative of the people, MPs have a key role in guiding, controlling and informing the parliament. And the last is lawmaking. Lawmaking is the topic of very big, and so this we are going to continue it in the next chapter. You have the another chapter for it. So lawmaking is the part of it of the function of parliament, but in depth we will continue it in the next chapter. So here the last topic of the chapter, that is who are the people in the parliament. Who are the people? Main thing, कौन कौन होता है parliament में? It is more and more people from the different background, Dalits and all backclass people, reserved seats for SCs and STs. Even there is reservation for the women in the parliament. So for example, the regional party has MP from the rural area. People and group who are unrepresented earlier now have found a seat in the parliament. Now the people nowadays, there has been an increase in the background caste people, that is Dalit ones, participation in the parliament. So we can see that experience and interest separates us. It is a crucial to ensure that all the communities which are historically migrated gets adequate representation. Keeping these things in our mind, our lawmakers have reserved many reserved seats for the ST and SC caste categories, and recently it was suggested that few seats are reserved for women also. So once the reservation comes into force, only the women would get true representation in the parliament. And sometimes there are issues in certain different questions are asked regarding the fact that if our democracy is representative enough, the fact that we ask this question are working towards answer shows that India has the better form of democratic government. This, what I said, is bit critical, but listen to it twice and thrice and try to get answer that what did I say at the end. So here we come to an end of the chapter. Why do we need parliament? So parliament is very much necessary because here we have to elect the national government. We need national government. We also need the control of the government, control by the people, and also the lawmakers of our country. And here we come to an end of this chapter, and we will meet later. For till then, bye bye.